Pod in the City is a Sex in the City podcast and thus contains adult themes and explicit content. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to Pod in the City. I'm Amanda.
And I'm John.
We're two besties who bonded over Sex in the City in college.
And now, 20 years later, we're reliving it like it's our very first time. Season 3, Episode 10. All or Nothing. Aiden finally says those 3 words, leaving Carrie guilt-ridden about her affair with Big. Meanwhile, all is well with Charlotte's new engagement until Trey springs an all-too-odd prenup on her. Miranda discovers that phone sex can be as fulfilling as the real thing, and while Samantha, riddled with the flu, panics that she's going to end up alone. I mean, and that is usually what I'm thinking, because I'm alone here because Amanda's on mute.
Well, I wasn't talking anyway. I was being a respectful co-host.
Your mouth was moving, though, at one point. So, Hi, guys. It's Pod and the City. It's Joan and Amanda, baby. Oh my God, the big thing that I kept thinking about in this episode was that, am I gonna end up alone?
That's what you were thinking?
Just kidding. All I kept thinking about was how Carrie was bugging me. And you know what really my number one biggest bug was that when she would have these flashbacks to her fucking crazy, I'm gonna try to not curse right away, but her crazy sexual, rendezvous. She'd go like this. That was her acting choice.
Oh, but I thought that was really relatable, though. When you get when something flashes into your head and you're like, ah.
Would you be like, ugh?
Yes, I would if I felt guilty.
It reminded me of the Carrie scream, and so
I love the Carrie scream. I think it's so funny and cute every time. When that started trending that people don't like that scream, I was floored.
The one time I can say it's kind of annoying is when she's on the street and it starts raining. And
I love that scene. She's so funny in that scene.
Yeah. Hi, guys. Again, okay. Yeah, I love, you know what? This is starting to get good. It's starting to get really good, but Carrie's making me upset. And number 2 thing that really set me off. When Pete gets loose and is running through the streets of New York City.
Okay, but it's iconic. It's an iconic scene.
There's another time, though, it's more iconic where she has Pete because she's wearing a little newsboy cap and a pinstripe suit that's
That's when he proposes to her.
And she has Pete.
Yeah, because he's like, here, hold the dog while I pick up the dog's shit, and then he bends over and then he proposes.
I think there's another time.
Oh, maybe.
Because she's wearing a pinstripe blue suit. That's really form-fitting and has capris almost.
Oh, she's wearing little shorts when he proposes.
Okay, no, she's wearing capris to the knee and has a matching hat. And she's running down the street with Pete.
I can see it.
Because I thought that was this.
I think she has a flower on, possibly.
Yes, but she's wearing this,
so. Okay.
Anyway,
well, it's not this.
But this was traumatizing to me as a dog lover. The idea of a dog running through the streets of New York, I was like, oh.
I feel like the most incredulous part of this episode, my nail keeps falling off, and this might be my 13th reason why right now. This morning has sucked.
Amanda's day has been
guess what? Guess what? Me and Jody are having problems with our bank. Locked out of the account again. Locked out.
I might suggest. Slight suggestion.
Yeah.
Maybe change up the way that you're doing this before the end of this month.
We've done the same thing. I'm gonna put on my new nail. All right, let's fucking do this.
I'm just dying. Anyway, we're here. It's Joan and Amanda again. Jesus, at Pod in the City. A couple of things I do want to say before we really get popping on all or
Oh, you know
nothing.
that's not what I was saying here. The most incredulous part of this episode is at the end where Pete gets loose and then she comes back. First of all, Aiden is not like upset with her. I will say I think that she was clearly out looking for him and she comes home super stressed out. So I guess, but that
I mean, with her nipples, like
she looked fine. But also like he's a dog. They come back, which no, they fucking don't usually. And then second of all, you live in a apartment. There's no way that Pete would have just found his way back and Aiden would have like seen him.
It was also Carrie's apartment.
Yes, Pete doesn't even live there.
So what? He just came back and was standing on the street barking.
Yeah, barking.
It makes no sense. And then his reaction: if I was Aiden at my apartment or at my girlfriend's apartment, and that she was out walking my dog, and the dog came back without my girlfriend, my reaction would not be like, "Let me just chill out." I'd be like, "Where the hell's Carrie? Is Carrie dead? Did someone kill Carrie and Scout?"
But then she shows up. Came back. Then she shows up and she's reeks of cigarette smoke.
Yeah, Big pissed me off in this too. Chasing her around, and
I love that he's wearing a Tommy Bahama shirt though.
This was so stressful.
Big. Yeah, this whole episode was stressful. And the next one, Running with Scissors, is my favorite episode of Sex and the City, and you get to lead it.
And it's is it as stressful? I can't remember. It's
the one where Natasha like finds out and then she breaks her teeth and
oh yeah, on the stairs, right?
Yeah, it's good. All right,
baby.
Sorry, you want to get into some housekeeping?
I do. Okay, so a few things. We do have a Patreon. If you're willing, we've 7 minutes in here. Patreon.com/pod and the city. This week we're doing Golden Gales. We also do some other fun things like we do Smash. We also do like a fun little mailbag episode. And we do our infamous pillow talk, baby. And I feel like there might be a smattering of that pillow talk in this week's Golden Gales because it's all about Rose effing men and killing them. Black Widow style. But they also start off by being like, "Oh, Rose, you must talk dirty in the bedroom, don't you?" And Rose is like, "I never did."
That took such a turn in that episode, though, because I thought that episode was just going to be about that someone died while having sex with Rose, and then it takes a whole other turn. And I was like, "This is such a good episode."
It was really good, and I laughed a bunch, and
me too.
Really good. So check that out. It's patreon.com/pod and the city, $6 a month. And check out my YouTube page. Open that doll. I'm getting close to 300 subscribers. And check out my TikTok.
And lastly, join us every Wednesday at noon Mountain Standard Time for our weekly roundup. It's about an hour 15 minutes. We break down all the pop culture of the week.
Like
gayer pop culture.
Like here's some examples. This week we're talking about the Oscars, Lady Gaga's new album, RuPaul's Drag Race, Traitors, Real Housewives, etc.
I saw A Complete Unknown, so we'll talk about that.
That's probably the straightest thing that we'll talk about this week, is A Complete Unknown. Unless, is Timmy getting with some men in that?
No, but the girl that plays Joan Baez, I feel is very I feel like gays would love her.
Ooh, okay. You know who I have an obsession with right now, and I'm pretty sure she may be a Nepo baby, is that girl who's in White Lotus season 3 with the teeth. I love her.
Yeah, she's great. White Lotus season 3 kind of sucks though. But yeah, we'll talk about all that. All right, let's start.
I'm liking it, except for
Jody, don't.
I think Patrick Schwarzenegger kind of sucks. Anyway.
All right. Well,
also, hey. Yeah. Hit like if you're watching our video, please. Also, it'd be great if you could share it, leave a comment, hit subscribe, hit like, though. It helps us out. Thanks, babes.
right, so let's get into this episode. All or nothing. A lot of iconic shit. A lot of iconic outfits in this episode. I think Kim
I feel like I'm
Cattrall.
adding my face into this.
Yeah, I
like,
know.
lady
Yeah.
here.
Hey, girl. Hilarious. Charlotte is pretty insufferable in this episode, but
Right.
we all know.
Because now that she's found love, she's found her everything. She's
I
found
don't
the peace
want
that
to be friend. I think I would just turn to her and be like, I don't want to be your friend anymore. How's that? I don't like hanging out with you anymore. You suck. You are bad to hang out with.
Well, it would naturally go that way after, she gets married anyway. But, we'll
After
see.
not anyone, but specifically Charlotte.
Well, yeah, because she even says in this, like, oh, now my life is complete.
Right.
And I'm like,
the ladies
really?
are just a placeholder for her life until a man comes around and fixes everything.
Well, men
like
are necessary for, everything.
There's that TikTok where it's like, there's no way that being gay is a choice because every woman in the world would choose to be a lesbian if they could. I definitely would. If I didn't need
totally agree.
Thrown around me to get off, then I would have no need.
I mean, though I will say I have made the choice. I recently announced that I was straight, and I've recently decided that I'm now gay.
Oh, you are? Okay, yeah.
So it is a choice, guys. Being gay is a choice.
It
and
is.
I'm living proof. Please don't crop this and send it to Fox News because I'm sure they'll use it. Oh my God. Don't get me started.
Oh my God. Well,
let's roll.
Let's take it back to the year, what is this? The year 2000, 1999, something like that. When
right?
pre 9/11, everything was going A-okay. The last big disaster was what? JFK assassination? There's probably a couple more after that, huh?
I'm pretty sure there's a lot more between the JFK assassination.
I think there was actually
9/11.
Didn't a plane hit the World Trade Center like in the 90s?
Oh, did it?
Guys,
I don't know.
I don't know.
What is?
Okay, anyway, let's start it out here. One of the best things about being in a great relationship is feeling comfortable enough to leave it for an evening. Oh, okay. I was just telling the story yesterday. I had a man over last night, and then I was talking about how I was like, yeah, there was like this guy who was kind of dating, and I was telling him about that date where he came over, Rob, where he came over for New Year's Eve into New Year's Day, which was a Wednesday, and then he came over on Friday into Saturday, which was like the regular day he was allowed to come over, and then on that I spent the Thursday alone. So depressed, and then I made you record on Saturday with me.
Oh my God. To get away.
And I looked at myself in the mirror Thursday and I said, I had such a great day with you.
Oh my God. I think Amanda just likes to self-inflict harm on herself. I think she has a kink for that. Guys, that's the kink. That's the Pillow Talk kink.
No.
Guys, check out our kink edition of Pillow Talk.
I'm learning that I'm actually, I did this past week a couple of times, let go of things that I just knew wasn't going to work out. I actually have been seeing.
Okay, so Sex and the City? What?
I don't know. I'm on no sleep. Okay, one of the best things about being in a because she's saying you can feel comfortable enough to leave for an evening.
Just to go out with your friends or something?
Just Carrie's with that friend too.
I guess you have to have
being like, Aiden, I'm gonna miss you. And you go, and at one point he goes, it's only for 2 days. I'm like, bitch, you're getting like this. I mean, I guess she did just cheat on him. But
that is the only reason she's doing it is because she knows she's gonna be tempted to cheat on him again. She is nefariously terrible in this episode. If anyone is on Carrie's side in this episode, I mean, I feel like what?
She's awful. Get Carrie because I've been Carrie, not at age 35 though.
I just think that I
mean, there is she could have gotten out scot-free. She called him. Big seemed like he was ready to be like, okay, that was fun, but
he straight up said that I can't do this. He also said it before they even hooked up, didn't they? Please. I mean, I may be recollecting wrong, but didn't he say, I can't do this? I'm going to, divorce is going to cost me a lot of money, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yes.
So Carrie could have been like, click. I mean, Carrie, then don't date Aiden. I'm just, you know what? I will never understand the concept of that, of like needing to cheat. I don't get it. I just think like, just don't be like, then don't date Aiden. I mean, but people cheat every day.
But he's there though, John. He's there.
When she tries to convince him, okay, let's keep going.
What's the other option, John? Being single?
Fucking your, I guess, married ex-boyfriend. So that's the problem. You have two choices, Carrie. Don't fuck your married ex-boyfriend and then be with your good boyfriend. It's not that difficult.
But I do think that the tone of this episode is really good because you can tell that Sarah Jessica Parker is playing it so well in just her like her inner turmoil, and then also it's a little narcissistic too because everything else that's happening to the other women. Carrie's like she's in there, but she's not really thinking. She's like thinking about how their situations are relating back to her.
That's pretty much Carrie every episode.
What about me? Carrie's outfit here.
How come you didn't sell your ring and give me the money to buy my apartment?
Oh yeah, I'd be mad at Charlotte for that too, I think.
Spoiler alert.
Right. So anyway, she's like, all right, so Aiden's like, I need to leave. And Carrie's wearing a very iconic outfit here.
I hate this outfit.
Oh, really? Oh, I love it. You guys would recognize it if I was gonna take a screenshot and then I forgot.
Is it the thing, the like top with the red thing hanging off?
Yeah, it's kind of like a one shoulder, like almost blue and white, almost tie-dye splotchy thing. And then it has like this red kind of ruffle, but in like a Flintstones-esque way, like kind of on an angle.
And it has it's like bedazzled too.
Yeah. And then
she's wearing a white jean jacket kind of thing that's bedazzled too at certain.
Yes. And then her pants are like these kind of wide leg, like business pants almost that are just kind of like ankle length. She looks gorgeous. Anyway,
she does look really great.
Someone once said no one should come to New York unless they are very lucky. I had an amazing boyfriend who had all his hair, good friends to talk about him with, and then she gets a flashback of this like G-rated sex scene. There's nothing. The only thing that's kind of hot about this scene is that you can hear like gasping and stuff, like heavy breathing in the audio. But if you just showed me these shots, like this looks like the first minute of foreplay.
I would say almost none of the shots even are like distinguishable.
No,
very few. It's like a weird. It's like, why am I not like, okay, you know who shows really good hot shots? The director of Challengers. They should have done it more like that. One drip of wet, How did that get no Oscar nominations?
I know. The Oscars this year was a fucking mess, except for the ceremony was good.
Amelia Perez needs to rot in hell. I'm sorry.
That was so uncomfortable. I hope that woman is mortified about that, but I don't think
she's not. The she thought the audience was like feeling her.
Well, they weren't. Okay, so Anna married. Okay, so she has all these things. Anna married ex-boyfriend I had slept with a week ago. So Samantha invites everyone over to celebrate that she's got this new apartment. She like moved up in her company and just her general fabulosity. Love this
too is so cool.
I know. This is
the blueprint of what I want.
Concept like this.
Love the big, huge windows, the fucking bed, the platform bed that's like in the middle, like of that kind of area. The fabulous kitchen, the beautiful, this is like very like 90s, early 2000s of someone who likes like, I love architecture and like, I was like, oh.
So everyone looks so good here. If we want to throw up, this is from that scene, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cynthia Nixon especially she's really cute and funny in this episode too.
She is.
Charlotte looks gorgeous here too, even though she
does. And Samantha has the most fabulous like 70s type like I don't know what they call that, like a bat wing dress almost. It has like the sleeves are tighter and then it has like big drapey Oh my God, she looks so cool. I'm like, oh.
So she's like, ladies, ladies, let's just say it. We have it all. Great apartments, great jobs, great friends, great sex.
This
And
scene
then,
is iconic, don't you think? Like, I
yeah,
feel
of
like this
course,
one
I always
sticks
think
out.
of it. And then Miranda's like, we can have our mini quiche and eat it too. And then here's Charlotte to kill the fucking vibe. I think having it all means having someone to share it with. And Samantha, because she's a queen, doesn't let that fly by. She's like, please, that is so Barney. And then Charlotte says, it's true. My life really didn't begin until I met Trey. The way I would roll my eyes right in her face. Like, I wouldn't be able to control it.
The problem is, if I were Charlotte's friend, I am way too
I would have ghosted
outspoken.
her. Yeah.
No, she would have ghosted me because she'd be
I don't
like,
wanna
you're
be around
too mean to me. Why can't you just be happy for me? And I'm going to be like, girl, be realistic. Your life didn't start until Trey. Shut the fuck up. You know what you need to start doing is embracing who you are, sweetheart. If you are so lost to this idea that like you need someone else to complete you, who are you? Like, God, how sad.
Yeah, it is. And it's also kind of a dig on the girls because it's like we've all been hanging out every night for like however many years, but now your life begins.
You know what? There's a lot of people, though, that lose touch with reality once they get what they thought they are, or like the thing they always wanted or whatever.
But again, then in this vein, I guess we can give credit to the writers here for making, because that was the plan, to set Charlotte up for this perfect thing to
this is so true.
Destroy her.
And you know, spoiler alert, if you guys are watching, leave us a comment, send us an email at patcpod@gmail.com if you are watching this. Like, you've never watched Sex in the City before, and you are watching this episode. You're watching the episode and listening to us. First, I'd be shocked if that was true. Second, I love what they've done, what they did with Charlotte. I think that is probably one of my favorite story arcs, as far as the idea of like, this is the beginning of her picture perfect, what she thinks is what she wanted. And it ends up being that her life ends up being, I mean, not the complete opposite, because she still has the fabulous apartment. She's still rich as hell. She's still, you know, has everything.
I feel like Carrie has a huge dick.
I thought you just said Carrie has a huge dick. No. Yeah, Harry. Oh, I think it's thick for sure. And I think, oh God. Anyway, keep going.
She really like works for it. Okay, so she goes, I think so. Charlotte's on this. And then Samantha's like, I love this moment. Samantha's like, she's holding this champagne bottle and she like pulls down her window and she's like, you see us, Manhattan? We have it all. And someone on the street is like, fuck you. And she's like, you wish. It's just a perfect like comedy line by Kim Cattrall. You wish. Carrie knows around to help Samantha clean up, but really this is just a self-fulfilling thing. She's not really helping. She's just there.
And her voiceover is like, I hadn't told anyone about Big yet. And it's like, oh girl, would you wait 10 seconds for the other girls to leave to be like, I fucked Big. Oh, and you only told her because she's you perceive her as to being like the biggest whore. So you're like, oh, she'll think I'm not a slut.
But I don't know. I feel like, if this was you, I would like to feel that I would be like Samantha and people would feel comfortable coming to me with this information because I wouldn't judge them. I feel like I would react like Samantha and be like, okay.
I think that if I were, first of all, I would not have an affair. I don't believe in cheating like that. I just believe in like breaking up with someone if you, like I've already said. But if I were to do it, no way in hell am I telling anyone. No, I'm not telling anyone.
I'll probably tell a bunch of people.
That will go to my grave. Are you kidding?
Oh.
Well, maybe once it's, I don't know. I wouldn't tell anyone until it was like long over.
I would have to tell someone while it was going on because the guilt would drive me crazy, which is why I wouldn't do it because it's not fucking worth it.
But telling someone would make me feel more guilty because it almost is like, if you don't tell anyone, it never existed.
I think by her telling Samantha, Well, like it kind of because Michael Patrick he does commentary on all of this whole like affair, all of these episodes, and he's really like high on himself, of course. But I mean, this is a great storyline. But he says on here that like this is like she tells Samantha first because like she's looking for validation a little bit, or at least for someone to be like, you're not doing anything wrong, which is what Samantha does here. She's like, you're having an affair, and she goes, no, and Samantha's like, was it good? And Carrie goes, it was amazing, and it's never happening again. And Samantha's like, okay. And Carrie's like, please don't tell Miranda and Charlotte. And Samantha's like, okay. And then she's like, I what am I doing? And the Samantha's like, nothing men haven't been doing for centuries. And then Carrie's like, why does it feel so good when it's so bad? And then Samantha goes, oh, honey, they designed it that way. I agree with this. It's all about the pheromones. We're all just animals reacting to each other's scent. Don't beat yourself up. Aiden hasn't said I love you yet. Until then, you're a free agent. I don't agree with that part. But I do like they do design sex that way. It is at the base level, it is just all about like our hormones reacting to each other. We're animals.
That's like evolution.
Yeah.
I think that Samantha's a good friend to have. And this is the type of friend you do want because like in this case, I don't know. I don't know how I would be. I think I would be like,
well,
I don't know. It's hard to say because really Carrie is like your friend in the situation and you have no real stakes in Aiden or Big. No. So I kind of would be like, well, okay, what are you going to do? What are you doing?
But then the next episode begins with her telling Miranda, which I think is kind of more now Carrie wants out by that point. Like she wants it to be over, and that's why she tells Miranda because she knows Miranda will be like, "You need to stop," which is what she does. And she's like, she's never going to tell Charlotte.
Well, Charlotte, unfortunately, is not. She's just too judgy. It's like it's pointless. What are you going to tell her so she makes you feel bad? Like, right. Thanks,
Charlotte girl. Probably has a way higher number count than I do.
But hers are all classy men, so it's different.
Yeah. We were dating to marry, courting with the intention of marriage. So great. So that scene's over. Oh no, and then there's this really cute moment where Carrie's like, "Don't you want to judge me just a little bit?" And then Samantha goes, "Not my style." And she winks, which is funny because in a few seasons, when Carrie gets her book deal and Samantha wants to dress her up in that hoochie outfit, and Carrie walks in on Samantha blowing the UPS guy. Carrie is super judgmental. And so
Carrie's just not really a good friend. Let's be honest. She's a bad friend. Carrie Bradshaw, bad friend.
Next morning, Carrie and Aiden say goodbye. Now, here's a fascinating piece of information that I just remember. I remember all these commentaries for some reason so well. But this scene when Aiden's saying goodbye to Carrie, I don't even know why I remember this. It was they're indicating that he's leaving early in the morning, but it was raining that morning, so they had to move it to dusk.
I did think it was weird. I thought the timing was strange of this scene, and I thought they were then trying to imply that it was the early morning, but you could tell that it wasn't early morning.
You could tell it was dusk.
The light is different, weirdly.
Agreed.
It's darker or more redder or something.
Sunrise is a lot more shocking to your system. It's fluorescent lighting almost.
It's also whiter or something, or yellower or something.
And dusk is beautiful light.
Yeah, this was red and oranges and stuff. And I'm like, what's going on here? And Carrie was so annoying. Carrie was annoying.
I'm gonna miss you so. But I would be like this too. That I'd be like, please don't leave. Or I would at least schedule shit with my friends for the next 2 days. You have 2 days. Just take a sleeping pill and sleep for 12 hours.
Honestly, if you can't go 2 days without lusting for your ex-boyfriend to cheat on your current boyfriend, I have an idea, Carrie. I'll say it again. Just break up with Aiden. If you can't take 48 hours without Big's dick in you, you need Aiden's to fill you up. If it's not Big's, you need Aiden's. Girl, get the hell out of here. Get a grip. Get an effing grip. No judgment.
Sorry, I was blowing my nose. I wasn't just not responding. Okay, so
I was busy queefing over there.
Aiden goes, "You must have stuff you need to get done." And Carrie's voiceover is like, "What I needed to do was to not be alone." So now we wake up to discover downtown. Oh, the next morning, Samantha wakes up to discover she did have it all, including the flu. So she wakes up, she tries to get her curtain rod, or she tries to close her curtains, and the curtain rod falls down. She can't get it up. She's she's just having one of those days. And now it's like this is her 13th reason why. She's just like everything's going to go wrong now. She's freaking out. She calls some of her tricks and nobody comes over to help her. This is actually super sad. I always felt bad for her here because this is pretty eye-opening too, where it's like, so I mean nothing to these men.
Okay, but do these men mean anything to Samantha? Besides when she needs them to hang up her curtains. And there's no way she doesn't have one person in her Rolodex of people. Like, why not say, hey, Miranda, can you send Steve over? Or like, or Miranda can't fix it herself.
Or Trey. Get Charlotte to send Trey over. She would love that.
Come on. I'm like, okay, sure. Or Samantha has to have one guy friend. I believe if Carrie has 50 straight men friends, Samantha has to have at least one.
That too, but like I feel like I would like to think that all the guys that I've like.
Also, I don't mean I feel like that sounds really sexist too. A woman could easily do this, but it doesn't seem like Miranda or Samantha has any other female friends except for Carrie and Charlotte and Miranda. Because you never see any. So,
right, yeah. Later, Charlotte and Trey are China shopping, and Charlotte like asks for his guest list. This is such a huge red flag. Hang on, I need to cough. So she's like, I need your guest list. So he hands her his guest list, and then under it is the prenup. And this, I think, is just such an important moment not because of the prenup, because I think everyone should sign a prenup.
Oh, but the way it's presented.
It's the underhand.
Bitch ass.
It's the bitch ass part of it. Oh, I would get really quick, and that would set off so many alarm bells about like the mother, because you can tell that it is a mother thing, and like you can tell that she's turning all of this from behind.
But if it's not all out, if it's not all above water. Or if it's like all above water, is that the right one of the phrases? If it's all above water, then you would just be like, hey, I think we should sign a prenup just, to make sure we know what's going to happen if something does happen. Not like slipping it under something. That would make me think like, well, that's immediately shady.
It's shady, and it's just like not manly, to be frank. It's just like,
but come on, we've already seen like literally in Trey's like second episode, we see that he's a bitch ass. Like, come on, like Oh, great. Amanda thought she had it all, including the flu.
All right. And you know what? I have a ton of people I can call that is not a man. I can just get my Auntie Debbie to come over here.
I just think too, like Samantha has money. Samantha could like call anything.
Probably has like an assistant.
Come on. She could open the phone book. I know they didn't have like.
Call a handyman.
That's what I'm saying. Call like any person.
TaskRabbit. They didn't have that back then, but there's got to be something like that. A guy. Call it like.
Open the window, shout down for one of the people working in the meatpacking district. Hey, anybody, can you come help me? And she has big, like she doesn't have big boobs, but she's like a sexy woman.
Got one of the drag queens downstairs to help you. And then
that's what I'm saying.
Oh my god, I've been meaning to tell you this. I went. It was on my way to the Oscars. I stopped in at Cannabis for a couple gummies. And I was already kind of stressed out because I'm like, oh, it's the first time I'm going to see my mom after she was gone for a month, and like my anxiety was at an all-time low, and I knew that it was just going to like go right back up. So I'm like, I need a gummy. So I like went in, and there was like this guy working there, and he was just this like fabulous like guy, and like I could just see him interacting with the customers and being like, yes, like period, like very that. And I was like, okay,
Very that.
I'm like, can I just get 2 no future gummies? And he's like, girl, you got it. And he like went into the back and he's like, I got tangerine and I got strawberry. And he was just being so funny and sassy. And it immediately lifted my mood. Like I want to go and like write a review. I don't even know like where I would do that. But he was so
Google.
fabulous. And he's like, girl, you need to take your sunglasses down. And he's like, your skin. He's like, you got the skin of an 18-year-old girl. I want to like work here so I can be around you all the time. It like instantly like upped my mood.
You know what I miss is the podcast Very That with Delta and Raja.
Ooh, I didn't even know that existed.
It's now the Very Delta podcast because Raja, you know.
Oh yeah, I subscribe to that.
Booked. I think
it used to once every couple months.
It used to be called Very That with Raja and Delta, and they would tell stories about their like days back performing in 1995 and shit like that. I was like, I love this.
All right, I'm gonna open a cough candy like we're in a Broadway show.
Amanda's got to wet her whistle. She's got to get to the boy. The instrument. She's got to get the instrument.
Of course. Okay, so
I don't know. Negativity. I don't think. Add some positivity. Manifest it away.
All right. I'm gonna sleep for like 18 hours tonight. I can't. Okay, so now Aiden. A fellow lawyer comes up. Oh, so after she gets the prenup, now we're at dinner with Miranda and the girls or lunch. Miranda's like, this all looks pretty straightforward. And Miranda says to her, I would never get married without a prenup. And then Charlotte's like, but it's just so unromantic. This is one of the most annoying tropes, in my opinion, of people that are like, well, but it's not, I wouldn't get married if I thought we were going to get divorced. Yeah, no one does. No one does.
I totally agree. I definitely think I don't know. I just don't know. My thing is, it's hard to say because I would feel, let's say you're with someone and they're like you marry someone, okay? And you've signed a prenup and it says that you would get what Charlotte gets, which is what, $500,000 it said. And if you
God, in this economy, can you even imagine?
That's like nothing.
Like you would never offer that. You would. I feel like the first offer would be $2 million.
You would get. I think it works out where like you get a year, like based on each year that you're together, you get a certain amount of money, which that makes sense. But also, it is very unromantic. But what I would be annoyed with is, let's say you're with this person. Let's say Charlotte marries Trey, and her agreement is that she gets $500,000. That's it. And while they're together, while Charlotte is raising their family, let's say Charlotte's a stay-at-home mother, this, that, and the other, and Trey builds a humongous company.
Yeah.
They get divorced and Charlotte only gets that. Fuck that. She needs to get part of that.
I think she should negotiate it. Build that. All of this is what happens with alimony after you get divorced. So like this is just good. Like marriage is a business contract. Sorry, but it is.
No, the older that I get, I understand that a lot more. And I veer almost to the point where the more assets and the more that I have, the less desire I have to actually get married.
I'm like,
because
this is mine.
Exactly. I don't want to fight someone later for my home. I don't want to. No. Oh, okay. The one way I would maybe do it is if they had like way more than I did,
then you'd want it.
And I could get part of theirs, which is so terrible. I'm sure. That's just good business.
So Samantha, Miranda's like, I would never do this, and they talked about, and she goes, 50% of marriages end in divorce, and now
I would think more than 50% nowadays. My God.
Also, it turns out that she gets a certain amount of money if they have boys, but not girls. A fellow lawyer comes up that Miranda knows who like works out of town, and they have a date later.
He has weird hair.
Yeah, he was weird looking actually. He looks very he has a baby face. Not really. I don't see him with Miranda, but anyway, it doesn't really matter. Back to Samantha. Samantha's like now still calling all her Johns, and it just ends with her going, "Why don't you fuck yourself? Because I won't be doing it again ever." Kim Cattrall is so funny as she gets sicker and sicker in this episode, especially when she has her meltdown with Carrie. I think
she's just amazing.
I know, she's amazing. Although,
again, pay her anything and get her on Anne just like that season.
Does Samantha have like some horrible disease? Because she's getting worse as the days go by. You shouldn't get worse with the flu.
She has like typhoid fever or something like that. Like, I don't know what the hell's going on. Like, for a flu,
yeah, girl.
And like,
maybe you should go to the doctor. If it's after day 3, it's this much worse. She's like on the verge of death.
I feel like the times that I've experienced a sickness like this, you're not like in this simultaneous state of being like really sick and worn down and then like enraged and like worked up. You'd be like one or the other. You know what I mean? She has too much energy to be yelling at people and whatever for being as sick as she is.
Yeah,
anyway,
I don't remember. The last time I was really sick was like Easter when I was still married to Brad. I think I got food poisoning or I'm allergic. I don't know. Something happened and it developed over the course of the day, and it was an Easter mass. And I had this midnight mass, and I spent the whole mass on the floor of the men's bathroom. Like, and I was so sick. And then I had to be back at like 8:00 the next morning. And like we came home from that mass, and like I went to bed, and like Brad slept on the couch because I was so sick. And like I woke up, and the entire mattress, like the top all the way to the bottom of the mattress, was just soaked. But I felt great the next morning.
With piss? Or
no, it just like my sweat. Like I just like my fever broke. The fever's breaking.
Oh.
Anyway, that was the last time I was really sick. Then when I went through withdrawal, I was like this sick all the time. But that's a whole other story. Anyway, I'm about to hit my 1-year anniversary, John. Don't you even care? Are you proud of me?
I am very happy for you. Yay!
That was the fakest yay.
I
am. Sober. she didn't drink herself to death.
I am happy for you.
Carrie is now wearing this cute little green jumper, which I feel like they didn't show enough in the episode. It's like a little jumper with shorts, but the shorts are really like underwear, like what she was wearing when she was in the trench coat. It was just this little romper, but it was just shorties. And she's
when
like,
is this?
This is the next scene. She's trying to do everything she can to like distract herself from Big. And so she's like balancing the checkbook and like reorganizing her shoe closet. And then she's like laying in the bed and she's like spinning out. And then she's like, I feel like, she gets into her emergency cigarette stash. So she's walking around her apartment smoking. And she goes, is it possible that a part of what we become so spoiled by choice that we become unable to make one? A part of us knows that I agree with this. A part of you knows that once you do choose something, one man, one great apartment, one dream job, another option goes away. I would say that's how I live my life. It's exactly like that has informed everything in my life, is that I don't want to make a choice. So I'll just like run away from it.
Right, it just feels like right now, though, for Carrie, there isn't really a choice because Big's married. I just don't like.
Yeah. Well, are we a generation of women who can't choose just one from a column A? Are we all too much to handle? Was Samantha right? Can we have it all? That's what the episode is about. Can we have it all? 2 hours later, she's still spinning out, so she calls Big. She goes, we need to talk about what happened with us. And when Big answers the phone here, he's like, Carrie, hey, like it was indicated in that he had no intention of calling her again. Like it was like the way he answered was very surprised, like, oh, like it seemed like he was gonna let it lay. Or maybe not. Big sucks too. But
I don't know. They fucked at the end of the last episode.
So she
and again, his problems all stem from the fact that he's like a man baby who couldn't be with Carrie because she was too wild and free and needed to get with the beige this and that, which is what story of every man's life. Like,
are you seeing these TikToks of like where everyone's making fun of the trend of like a girl being like being like quirky, and it's like I'm like that
it's like this is my emergency contact or whatever, and it's
no, not that. It's like this is me. I know that I might not be marriage material, but I love knowing that he's in bed with his boring ass wife thinking about me and if I ever got my shit together. But then like now it's turned into girls making fun of them because all the girls doing it are beige, but they just like have a crazy hat on.
I see.
Like,
I've seen that too, like where it's like this there's this one specific one where it's like, I can't take my silly wife out to dinner or something like that. And it pans over to the lady and she's just like,
yeah,
like eating. I'm like,
it enrages me.
But then they call that millennial humor. They put that on us. Are you a millennial?
Still? Yeah, I'm a millennial. I'm an older millennial.
Elder millennial.
Jody's the eldest millennial.
Oh, because I think I'm kind of I'm an elder millennial too,
I'm 83.
Oh God. I'm 86,
God,
so I guess I'm not that elder.
Yeah, you're not much younger than me. Okay. Anyway. So Carrie goes there. I'm aware it can't. Oh, this is a cute back and forth, actually. She goes, it was just a physical thing. She's on the phone with Big. It's a physical thing that happened. We gave into our base instincts. Shit happens, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, are you wearing glasses? And she goes, no. And he goes, you sound like you're wearing glasses. That would get me to sleep with him right there, too, because it was like really cute banter. You sound like you're wearing glasses. It was very cute. It like lightened the mood, and it was like pointing out like how kind of hysterical.
I don't think she needs anything else to get to sleep with him.
Right, like she
needed her boyfriend to not leave her for 48 hours, so she didn't fall on Big's dick because she's that like worked up about it.
She goes, it can't happen again. You're married, and he goes, I'm aware of that, but come on, it was pretty fucking amazing, wasn't it? She goes, that is so not the point. We are intelligent human beings here. We need to learn to rise above the physical stuff. And he goes, you can do that. And then just smash cut. I kind of like how just this wasn't even a big reveal. It was just like, apparently we couldn't, and they're in bed together.
I think this is a weird place because, like, as far as a television show goes, the idea here is that we are supposed to be in support of the idea of them getting together, and we're supposed to like the character of Big, who is a person who cheats on his wife.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a weird situation where, like, I think that maybe that's part of the downfall of our society is
Right.
that we're supposed to, like, they've convinced us that, like, you know what? If you're that much in love with someone, just cheat on your wife. Who cares?
Because we want the baddie. We're always gonna go after that baddie.
That's just like anyway. Yeah.
But again, I'm 43, and like again, I can understand these emotions, but I wouldn't do it. This is how I look at Mary Brown, where I'm like, I understand everything that you're doing and saying and like where it's stemming from, but like you're an adult. Like I just don't understand how people don't grow up after their 20s, like Carrie or Mary. All right. Where are we?
Carrie and Mary
are back together. Carrie, Mary. And then Big goes, they're in bed, and he goes, next time we need to get a hotel. I can smell the guy on your sheets. Wood chips and Paco Rabanne. Paco Rabanne?
Rabanne. It's like a
cologne.
Cologne.
So later, Miranda's with this guy, and he has to catch an
11. Oh, wait. This actually goes along with our what does Aiden smell like theory from a few episodes back. Big says, or Carrie says he doesn't wear deodorant or something.
Cologne. He wears together.
And she's like, and Big's like, maybe you should. So just as I said, I think he smells BOE.
Yeah. But again, if I'm like PMSing, then I'm gonna be like super into him.
So you are like an actual animal, like you're in heat, like you get in heat and stuff.
Well, lately I have, but that's because I'm in perimenopause now.
So don't let Amanda smell a dude's stinky underwear, or else she'll be just like ravenous.
Not between March 17th to the 20th. All right, where are we? Later, Miranda's with her dude. He has to catch an 11 p.m. flight, and they're like making out. This part, I'm not buying this either. Because she's like, oh, if I didn't have an 11 p.m. flight, I would totally try to sleep with you. And she's like, I'm so drunk, I would have let you. Then just go in there and bang it out.
Yeah, like, when is the flight?
Yeah.
Can't be like
couple times.
Yeah, you could.
You're already like super horny. Like, just fucking go.
You can also make yourself like From experience, personal experience, if you are wanting to like get it done, you can get it done.
Really?
You know
I've been
what I
with
mean?
so many men who like are like, I'm like, end it.
Really?
Yes.
Oh. See, I don't have a problem with doing it too soon. I can go as
I'd
long as
rather
I
you
would
do it like
like,
immediately. I
but
would love a 5-minute or less situation.
oh no, I don't want that. But if you are in a situation where you're like, let's say in a stairwell or speaking for personal
Well,
experience,
then you have to
you
really
like
concentrate.
it's not like I'm gonna want to fuck for 45 minutes. Like
That is where the girl has an upper hand in that situation because we can always fake it and you guys really can't. I guess you kind of can, but like
that's where
not
I'm
for
like struggling
experience.
to understand is like why isn't a guy coming? Shouldn't he just be able to
I
come?
feel like sometimes they get in their head. Anyway, someone. Okay, well, I don't want to get into this. This is the free feed. Okay,
Right.
later. So anyway, he's like, well, we'll talk on the phone. I have to go, but you know, there's always phone sex, and I'd be like, just call me when you're back.
I like phone sex. It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, I sext all the time, and I do enjoy that.
My thing is though, I'm definitely like a one and done with that. You know, I usually will come to my senses afterwards or something. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my god, what the
Twilight.
fuck? Like, then I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not doing that again. You know, lose that person's number. Or something.
I feel like this is very different than. Well, no, this would still hold up in like in the days of not social media and phones. But like, I feel like phone sex is kind of nice. What I like about sexting is that in sexting, the person is giving you information about like what you can do to them that is going to get them off. So it's informative without being like too like business like. It's like, oh, it's like noted, right?
Oh, I definitely like to have a conversation before I have sex because I would like to go in knowing what someone's somewhat wanting. I'm fine having a conversation during sex of being like, okay, so what do you like? Like, what are you into? What feels good?
Absolutely fine. Like,
come on.
Well, again, and this is actually interesting because this comes up in the Golden Girls episode, and it was like it happened to me recently where that guy, God, now that I look back, that guy was like filled with issues. I'm so glad that's over. But like that, the one that like told me to like be quiet during sex. He's like, you're too loud. And I was like not doing anything, but like in the Golden Girls, they talk about that too. Like Dorothy's like, I don't make noise at all. She doesn't make a sound. Like how is
making noise? Actually, let's keep this conversation for the Patreon. Guys, check out patreon.com/podinthecity. Also, if you're still watching, still whatever, if you're clicked in, hit like, babe.
All right. So, so they're gonna have phone sex. Now then he does call. She's like lotioning up her entire body. She's always putting lotion on. But now that I live in Canada where it's dry as fuck, I get it.
I wish I was more regular about my lotion application.
Yeah, me too.
I really do.
Okay, so then it goes, well, Miranda was coming. I was busy preparing for Aiden to come back. I had slept in. I love this line. I've always loved how brazen this line is. She goes, I had slept in me in big sex sheets for 2 days. And like any good junkie, I knew how to hide the evidence. I just love that like they went that far as to say like I slept in my sex sheets with big. Because it's just, I mean, that's just real life. I like it.
I just I don't like that. Because like there's gotta be some crusting there's something happening on those sheets.
Yeah, true. Well, I have flannel sheets, so that doesn't really.
Oh my god, I hate
took them
flannel
off
sheets.
yesterday.
Sensory nightmare.
But here, as she's doing that voiceover, it just shows her. Aiden has clearly buzzed in from downstairs and walking up the stairs, and now she has the thought, "Let me tear this thing off." I feel like that almost draws more attention to it. Like, oh, I'm washing my sheets. Although Aiden wouldn't even think that she would cheat on him, though, so it wouldn't even cross his mind.
Carrie is useless in this episode. I gotta be real here. I mean, like,
so she answered the door, and Aiden's like, "I thought of something on the way home. I love you, Carrie." And then she's like caught off guard. And I feel like this is pretty real to life too, is that they will tell you they love you at like the worst fucking moment. Like, it's just like, This is the worst time that this could be happening.
But for him, it's not the worst time. It's just because she's being a shit person, like literally.
And she says it back, and then she goes, and then he like hugs her, and then not only was my secret safe, but apparently I'd become lovable. I felt awful. So good. So now we're back to Miranda having phone sex. This part's funny too. Charlotte's beeping in and asking about like the prenup and shit. And it turns out that Bunny, the mom, is the one really running all this thing. And like this has always been what the deal is with everyone in the McDougal family. So Miranda's clicking back and forth between Charlotte and then being like, my hand is on your big thick dick right now.
She's like, your dick is in my mouth. Okay, keep it there. And then she's like, okay. So I think that Bunny is the mother, is the one who's she's doing a physical comedy bit too that's like kind of cute, but I would be so exhausted if they were directing me to do this, where she lays down to do the phone sex part and then like pops back up to do the lawyering part and then goes to the I'm like, damn.
But how many times have you been in this situation too, where you're like, but also like, I don't know, when most people sex, they probably are maybe masturbating a little bit. And as we all know, I don't do that. So I'll just like lay there and just be horny and then not do anything about it. But I'll be just like sexting actively with someone, and then you'll pop in and be asking me about like the roundup. So I am going back and forth, and in those times, you really do have to be diligent about like who you're pressing send on.
Oh, I'm constantly worried that I'm going to text someone the wrong thing.
I mean, I feel like me texting you one of my like very kinky like sex would be like maybe the best case scenario of who I would send something to. That would be at least a safe person to send it to.
Yeah, like please don't send me your vulva pics, but you'd be like, oh, okay. Like, I'd be like, whoa, geez. I mean, I wouldn't be like, oh my God.
Wait a week, not mention it, and then you'd bring it up on the live.
I'd be like, guys.
Here's Amanda's gaping vagina. So she connects the phone, and he is, the guy has cummed in the meantime, and he's like, now let's work on you. So now Carrie goes to take care of Samantha, who is actually dying. She's got hours to live.
Make me my drink. She's like turning into swamp monster lady.
Yeah, she still looks more gorgeous than I've ever looked in my entire fucking life. But no. So she does a blender of orange Fanta and cough syrup. I would argue you should put like whiskey in there or something.
I bet like she's acting like this smells gross. I bet this would be okay.
I remember even as like a 20-year-old being like, that sounds like it would be actually
But isn't this lean? Isn't this what lean is or whatever that is? That like lean, like scissor. Isn't that it's like what the rappers were drinking, where it's like the cough syrup with Sprite. No, it's like they're drinking cough syrup. Like
okay, like robo tripping.
Oh, is that what it's called? Okay, anyway, whatever.
Anyway, so that's what she's doing. She's obviously getting like a cheap little drink out of it. But I will say, like, being when you're sick and then you get a little drunk, it's kind of a fun buzz. Because it's so intense. Because your head is always like sore.
I just hate being sick. What I do is just sleep. I like there's no way I would even.
Why I like being sick. Because I'm like, I guess the only thing there is to do is lay down and scroll on
Gotta
TikTok.
rest.
All right. So 3 days later, so then Samantha has this whole thing where she's like, oh, Carrie, there's two types of guys out there. The ones that hold your hands and the ones that want to fuck you. And then Carrie's voiceover is like, and I had slept with both of them in less than 48 hours or 24 hours. I don't know which one she says. And the guys that fuck you aren't worth a damn. We're all alone, Carrie. She's so funny. I'm like an Emmy for just that moment. She's so good. Now, here's a really other interesting fact. If you like that dusk versus sunrise, wait till you get a lot of this one. The next voiceover, now it cuts to Charlotte's engagement party, and the girls come down the stairs, and Carrie has her hair in those two buns. What do we think of the buns? I love the buns.
They're fine.
Okay, anyway, then the voiceover goes, 3 days of bed rest later, three very healthy girls attended an uptown party. Now, the reason they added that voiceover in is because, Joan, this scene was supposed to be the end of the episode. So they needed to explain why there was a jump cut from Samantha having that like sick meltdown to now all of a sudden being at a party and feeling fine. Because they were going to put this as the last scene, but then they thought it would be too depressing to end the episode on the note of the three girls walking down the street and being like, it feels weird without Charlotte here. Although I would argue that might have been a better ending. Oh, no, the ending is with the, are you going to quit? Right?
I can't remember.
Because that is a good ending. But anyway, that's what's going on here. So they had to add that voiceover in. Although I got to say, I don't think I would have even noticed. But
no.
They're at this party and Charlotte comes up and she says, I haven't signed the prenup yet. And so Charlotte goes, talks to Bunny and negotiates with her. And she goes, it would be a shame if we didn't go through with the wedding. And Bunny's like, what do you want? And Charlotte's like, I'm worth $1 million. And again, $1 million seems like just nothing.
Literally at this point, it is nothing.
$1 million a year is what you should ask for.
I think like at this point, even $10 million. So with the way things are going, I don't think I could live the rest of my life off of $10 million. Shit.
What are you talking about? Are your eggs like really cheap now though? And gas?
Girl. Tariffs went into fucking place, I think like what, today?
Yeah. My mom was just it was just in Palm Springs. She said a carton of eggs is $10 there now.
Yeah, they are fucking crazy. Like even the cheapest, shittiest eggs, which used to be like, I think 90 some cents, are like $7.
Eggs here are like $6 for like a good case of eggs.
Well, like the good ones are like 12 or more.
That is okay. That's crazy. And Canada has way more expensive food prices than you guys do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's alarming.
Well,
great.
Well, you know what? I think our country should be run like a business. And I'm so glad that we fucking voted in a businessman who bankrupted 6 companies, including a casino. Anyway, God bless America.
I was just saying to John right before we got on, I'm like, I'm kind of bummed that the is now not going to hit the planet Earth anymore. It's gonna like on all the TikTok comments, people are like, "But wait, come back." So it was then that we realized the girls are walking down the street, and it's like, Charlotte. No, sorry, they're at the thing. Charlotte's like, "I asked for $1 million, I got it. I'm getting married." And then Trey comes over and he's like, "Let me steal her away from you, ladies." And then they're like, "It was then we realized we don't have it all because we no longer had Charlotte." Although I'd be like, low key, like, yes.
I'd be like, okay, well, have your fun with your man, and when you try and crawl back, then
when this implodes, ultimately,
I'll just say, "I told you so."
You totally would too. So that was supposed to be the last scene. Anyway, after a week full of Aiden and no cigarettes, I feel like I had finally kicked my addiction. And Aiden points out emu on this crossword that Carrie is doing. Big now calls. And I love this line too. Big's like, "I'm downstairs. If you don't come down, I'm coming up." And
I fucking hate this. I hated him in this. The thing that I hate here is that his whole thing here is that he's like, "I'm gonna tell Natasha. I'm gonna tell her that I'm leaving her." And it's like, these people who do this, I think someone did it in one of the episodes to Samantha, right? Where he's like, "I left my wife," and she's like, "Who is this?"
Like, because I love it. She goes, "Who is this?"
Like, this is like, just because you've like, that's what's annoying, really annoying about this is, yes, Carrie did fuck you on the side, but now because now he thinks that he is like the controller of the whole situation. So you're gonna leave your wife, and now you're like, "And I'm taking you down with me." Fuck it. It's like,
yeah, no, it's fucked up. Well, then we have the line, "I told Aidan that I was taking Pete for a walk, and he believed me," which made it 10 times worse. So Carrie comes down with the dog.
Then this most traumatic scene I remember.
Yeah,
I hated this. Big
is in a Tommy Bahama shirt, and he goes, "Is this his dog?" I love that line too. All of this whole episode is very good. And then Big says, she goes, "No, you want," he's like, "I want you." And she's like, "No, you want me and then your wife that you go home to." And he's like, "No, that's bullshit. I want you. I can't do this anymore. I can't sleep with 2 people at the same time. I'm going to tell her tonight." And Carrie's like, "What? No, married men don't just leave their wives. I have a man who loves me and you have a wife that loves you." And And then Big goes, don't talk about him and her like it's you and me. Again, that would get me. Because that is establishing like, no, we're special. We got
I am. See, I think
I wouldn't put myself in this position though. In the
Me
first
neither. I would never.
place,
And I would.
deep now, Carrie, and these are the consequences.
I would have definitely stopped it too. It's like
Yeah.
I'd have been like, no.
Especially here.
Yeah.
And so she goes, you can't do this. You can't come back into my life and fuck it all up. And then he goes, I think there's two people doing the fucking here, Carrie. And now Pete runs away. There's this infamous scene of Carrie running down the streets of New York in her heels, which are not even strappy sandals. These are literally just slip-on heels. That is crazy. Like these are just, you step into them. There's no back on them. There's there's not even like a little like bleep on the heel. Like this is very athletic that she's doing this. And then then she comes home. It's raining. Her nipples are out, and she comes in. And then and Michael Patrick King went on about this too. And I think this was actually the dog's choice, is that Carrie comes and she's like, oh my God, he came back. And then Aiden's like, let me get you a towel. And then he gets
Michael Patrick King is taking credit for a dog's acting choice.
I love that it was.
He's like, well, you know, I was in the room with it. I think I inspired the dog.
The dog knew. But there's a part where he wraps a towel around Carrie and she goes, oh my God, Pete, come here, Pete. And then Pete like doesn't come to her. Which I think is good too, because fucking dogs, they know.
Well, honey, you haven't shown a single ounce of goodness to me. How the fuck do you let... There is no instance where I'm with a dog, I'm walking a dog. First of all, I wouldn't have been a bitch and taken your dog as part of my reason to like get away. Maybe don't take, that's like taking someone's baby. Oh, let me just borrow your baby so I can lie about everything I'm doing. Like, you're a piece of shit. I'm just like, this episode made me so freaking angry at Carrie and Big. They both suck. Hardcore.
Running with scissors next week. And then we kind of already talked about this ending here, but like she comes back and he goes, why isn't Aiden livid for one? And how the fuck did Pete find his way back? I need more information here. But then he goes, oh no, then we're back to Miranda in bed and we find out that the guy is like double timing her. He's like back and forth with her and another girl. And he's like, I thought we're not exclusive. Whatever. I'd be like, all right. And like, I'm committing to this now. Like I'm having phone sex every night.
No.
Like, I'll do this a couple times.
Like I said, it's about a one and done. I'll have phone sex with you once, then I need some dick. I need to like actually be with you.
I'm also fine with like sexting intermittently, like between actual physical sessions, but like this is not going to.
You're not having a phone sex relationship.
No, honey. And they haven't even fucked once yet, though, either. That's
what I'm saying.
So Carrie,
I get very bored.
And so that's it. So then Carrie goes, Aiden goes, Carrie, I need to ask you something. I love the way this is written, except for when he says, are you cheating? Because that's a crazy way to ask. Like, because he's asking her, are you smoking again? We think that he's saying, are you cheating? But like, no one would say that. Are you cheating? Are you smoking again is what you'd say. But he goes, I do
like that, though, in a way, because it at least gives us a little more interest. Like, it gives Carrie a moment to sweat.
Well, this is important. So because I need to ask you something. I don't want to be paranoid here, but you took Pete for a walk, and we both know you're not big on the dog walking. Also, you let him go in the city. So
they never mention that, really.
Yeah.
Except for him saying, oh, dogs always come back.
Yeah, they never mention it. And then he goes, and I can smell something. And then she kind of goes, and then he goes, are you cheating? And then I feel like this part is important, and in Carrie's defense, it looks like if he hadn't now reiterated, like, are you smoking again? It looked like she was about to admit that she was cheating, because she did like and then she kind of shakes her head.
Okay, but she still could have admitted.
She didn't. Yeah. He goes, you're smoking again. And she goes, yeah, I am. And he goes, are you going to quit? And she goes, I really want to.
She really wants to quit cheating on you.
Yeah. But I'm not gonna. All right, guys.
I can't help it because me and Big are different.
We're better than
We're not like everyone else.
Right. We have something so much more special that no one else understands. No one's known love like this. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. We love you all. Make sure you join our Patreon. We're doing Golden Girls. Make sure you join our weekly roundup every Wednesday at noon Mountain Standard Time.
If you haven't yet, hit like, leave us a comment, help us with engagement. It all helps, and we love you.
Most importantly, go down to our link right down here in the show notes and leave us a voicemail.
No, that's
Leave a
not
voicemail.
most importantly. Most
Right
importantly
now
is
it
you
is.
join
We
our
need
Patreon.
content, John.
Oh, okay. Join our Patreon, please. We love you guys.
We love you
so
guys.
much.
Yep. Have a wonderful
Bye.
week. Bye.
Bye.